Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the dashas some more. So what I'm talking about is called the Vimshotri Dasha system that we use in Vedic astrology to predict our future. And these dashas are profound. They give us the big picture of our life. And what I want to talk about in this class or this video is the moon's Maha Dasha. So before I start, I want to give thanks to one of my premier students and graduates of the university, who is an astrologer now. He's brilliant, and it's Gautam Gupta. And Gautam told me, why don't you do a whole series on all of the 9 planets in terms of what dasha you go into. So I wanted to say thank you to Gautam. And also remind everyone, if you want to sign up for my free newsletter, go to my website. There you can sign up. And while you're there, don't forget to check out my beautiful jewelry, spiritual jewelry, as well as look at the university. So my website is galacticcenter.org to sign up for the newsletter. And my university website to learn Vedic astrology is universityofvedicastrology.com. So now let's really dig in here about those of you that might be going into the moon's Maha Dasha. And remember, these dashas, I've been giving this whole series, but they are based on the nakshatras. What nakshatra your moon is in starts your whole sequence of these dashas. That's how important the moon is in Vedic astrology. So what nakshatra your moon's in, what planet rules that nakshatra begins the whole cycle of your life. So let's say right now you're about to go into the moon's Maha Dasha. What does that mean for you? So as I said before, one way you can get a sense and a feel for this, because remember, it's different for everyone because it's dependent on how the planets are placed in your chart as to the results you will get with this dasha. It's not like you can say the moon is the same for everyone. It's not. Even though a planet can be a great benefic or a malefic, it will give results depending on what house it's in, what sign it's in, and what houses that planet rules. That's a lot to take in. So let's simplify this. Let's talk about, if you just entered the moon's Maha Dasha, what house your moon's in will be the main focus that's going to come up. This is a promise. So let's talk about that. But remember also, notice what house has Cancer on it, because that'll be another variable. That house will, because it's ruled by the moon, Cancer's ruled by the moon, the variables that that house is about will come into play as well. But let's simplify things for now and just talk about the house the moon's in. So the moon is our sensitivity and it's our emotions, and it can deal with the mother all by itself. But looking at where the moon is, if it's in the first house and you go into the moon's Maha Dasha, you're incredibly sensitive, and you'll feel a lot more sensitive as soon as you go into the moon's Maha Dasha, because all of a sudden the focal point is your feelings, your emotions. And in the first house, there's a lot going on in your life that's bringing up a lot of emotional issues. And your high degree of sensitivity comes into play. When you have the moon in the first house, you tend to absorb other people's feelings big time. And I tell people with this, they feel like when they go out in crowds that they don't know why they're exhausted, because they've been picking up all the feelings of everyone in the crowd. So the people with the moon on the ascendant are so sensitive. They feel, they sense, they know everything. And this becomes magnified when you go into the moon's Maha Dasha, if it's in the first house. If your moon is in the second house, then this deals all about financial and money issues. These are the things that are going to develop and come up. And the moon being there can be very sensitized to your financial situation. It could be good, but depending on the sign and the aspects, it could be very stressful. So be aware that financial situations will be the focus during this 10-year cycle. I forgot to mention, the moon cycle is 10 years, but the beginning phase is where you really notice the changes of this cycle. So also, because the moon is the past and memories, the second house deals with our early childhood. A lot of old memories from the past and situations about family will arise when you go into the moon's Maha Dasha. Let's say you have the moon in the third house and you go into the moon's Maha Dasha. This is a deep sensitivity towards how you communicate. And actually, with the moon being here, you are quite the communicator. And I bet you might start expressing yourself more through the written word. When you express yourself, you do with feelings. And the written word would really bring this out of you. Maybe journaling is a good thing to start when you go into this dasha. Another thing that can come up is working with your siblings, especially if you have sisters. There's going to be a lot of emotional stuff that comes up. You've got to sort through, possibly help them. And with the moon, it's fluctuations and change. So you'll be traveling a lot more. The moon in the third does a lot of traveling, a lot of learning. And don't forget, the third house is very creative. So there could be a lot of creative avenues that you start up again. Let's say you have the moon in the fourth and you go into the moon's Maha Dasha. Issues around your mom will become prominent because why? Fourth house is the mother and so is the moon. And you might want to be moving or feeling more connected to your past, to your home, maybe even moving back home or moving to a place that reminds you of home. Something that gives you a sense of security. Because when the moon is in the fourth house, you're searching and seeking for that which you feel is missing. That's security. Let's say you have a moon in the fifth. You will really get more involved into your creative projects again. This will be a time of great creativity. And if you are looking to expand your family, this could be a time that you could bring a new child to the world, get pregnant. That's what the fifth house is all about, but it's also our creativity. And the moon in the fifth house will make us vastly more interested in our creative side and being an advisor to others on an emotional level, not on a professional level. That's what I see with that. So let's say it's in your sixth house. Usually when the moon's in the sixth house, people have these issues with their stomach, digestion, but I guarantee you, when you go into the moon's dasha, with the moon in the sixth, you're going to be doing something with health and healing. This is definite. So something about your health, healing, and connecting to employees or co-workers, especially female ones. This will be the time. Let's say your moon's in the seventh house. You go into the moon's Maha Dasha and the moon's in the seventh house. It's all about connecting with your partnerships. If you're not in a relationship, you're going to really desire to connect with somebody one-on-one. Have a deep connection. The moon is emotional. And you might find that your partner changes their mind repeatedly over and over. This is all a big, and you have a partner who is changeable. You can never predict what they're going to be saying or doing from day to day. But you're really questing to feel a deep emotional connection with your partner during this time. So with the moon is in the eighth house, this is emotional, deep stuff, dealing with the past. psychological analysis, doing things with psychology, with metaphysics, with spirituality. But I guarantee you, you could even have visitations from people that have passed on through your dreams or through something going on in your life where you realize, that reminds me of my mother. And that's what I needed to learn from this. So old situations, emotional situations that are healing from the past, but you also feel like you're touched by someone from your past in an emotional way, psychically. But there can be some emotional hurt during this time because the 8th house does deal with humiliation. So look out for that. Take care of yourself. And there could be even someone passing away, a female, at this time, within this 10-year cycle. So let's say your moon's in the 9th house. You go into the moon's Maha Dasha. Everything to do with your sense of spirituality and truth comes out. And you have this intense desire to travel the world, to learn, to expand your knowledge in a spiritual way. Enlightenment. Teachers. This is a beautiful time of your life. You're very lucky if you have a moon in the 9th house. Luck and fortune will be bestowed on you. So if you have a moon in the 10th house, your reputation comes to the forefront. You may be well known. This is moon in the 10th house can represent that you're well known for something that you do. And this could be a time within this 10-year cycle, your reputation comes up and you can be known for what you do. Fame, recognition, and even possibly a raise in your job. And you might find that maybe you have a female boss during this time. Isn't that interesting? So this is a time that you could progress and get further connected through your work and your career. So if your moon is in the 11th house, then this means that you could get recognized by others. This is the 11th house's friends, groups, organizations, and you'll want to become part of some new organizations and groups. Particularly find some new female friends. A lot of associates with the moon in the 11th house. I say people with the moon in the 11th house have so many associates and people that surround them. But not that many people do you allow to get in and really know you. So it's mainly acquaintances. So many acquaintances. They circle around you. People think you have so many friends. But you consider you only have a few friends because you don't let everyone in. But that's the moon in the 11th house. So let's say you have the moon in the 12th house. You go into the moon's Maha Dasha, all this stuff from the past. And even you have dreams more about people from the past, and many realizations and many healings come about concerning you, your past, and even your mother. This is all going to come up. And this will be enormously healing. It's time to let go of so much from the past, and this will free you and give you a new life. Going into the moon's Maha Dasha is deep stuff, but you're going to have to let go of many things from the past. So it will feel like a time of losses. But at the same time, it's freeing you up for a new life. So with that, I'd like to close going through all the different variables of the moon's Maha Dasha. Don't forget, notice what house the moon rules in your chart. That area will be affected as well. So with that, if you would like to learn more about me, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter, as well as if you would like to study, take this to a deeper level, become part of the University of Vedic Astrology. Go to my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.